Following the 2017 general election, there has been a lot of talk of the UK remaining part of the customs union after Brexit. What would this mean? And is it a good thing? Yes, it is for the 70% of UK trade with the EU that are goods. But by itself, a customs union doesn't give frictionless trade. For goods, at present, the UK is a member of the European Customs Union. This means that there are no tariffs, taxes on trade, between member countries, and that any tariffs with countries outside of the Union are the same. In fact, trade between Brighton and Paris is barely more complicated than trade between Brighton and Scotland. There are effectively no bureaucratic barriers and no paperwork. After Brexit, the UK will cease to become a member of the European Customs Union, because only members can belong to that, and legally it will become a separate customs territory. Once outside the customs union, the UK could sign trade agreements with other countries. And whether there are tariffs between the UK and EU will depend on whether they sign a trade agreement to eliminate them. If there is no trade agreement, they will treat each other exactly as they treat other countries, such as Australia or China. When goods move between the UK and the EU, they will have to prove they meet local standards. They will have to pay VAT, they will need to be recorded, and they will need to pay the correct tariff for their place of origin. This will increase the cost of trade between the EU and the UK and slow down the movement of goods. The UK can't stay in the current EU customs union, but if the UK and the EU sign a new customs union agreement, tariffs are no longer levied on trade between the UK and the EU, but the other obstacles remain. There would be no tariffs to pay, but even in a customs union, there would still be documents to check and some physical inspections for compliance with standards, because a customs union only deals with tariffs. With close cooperation and the right equipment, many of the customs checks could be done at the factory and shared electronically. With a lot of cooperation, it would be possible to take VAT payment inside the border. With a very strong agreement, the UK and the EU could agree to apply the same standards and rely on inspections at the place of production. But none of this cooperation is part of the customs union, and without it, there would potentially be delays. One dodgy container can hold up a whole train. Having a customs union would be good for trade with Europe, as it would eliminate tariffs. But it's just a small part of the story. First, it only affects goods. And second, it only removes one brick in the wall. A customs union alone won't give frictionless trade.